Welcome back to Squelch, the video game book club. I'm Dano.
I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storm Rage. And we're here to remind everyone that Chrono Trigger is a game, and the games are supposed to be fun. This week, we will be playing all the way from the Zeal Palace to the end of the game, talking about every single side quest, every single ending. So many things to be found. Next week, we will be starting on Dragon Age Origins, and we are beginning from the origin stories, which differ depending on your background, as up through the Tower of Ishal. And I do not know what that means, but I am excited to get there. I've played approximately 20 minutes of this game, and I am on board.
I'm legitimately so excited for you after saying, I don't know what Tower of Ishal is. And I'm like, oh, buddy, it's gonna be so much fun. It's so good.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the first mission past the first area. So I'm like completely, I'm also hooked and ready to go.
Dragon Age, so it starts with like the fun origin stories, which is like, hey, here's a little bit about the world, here's a little bit about the character you're playing, here are the mechanics of the game, and then it just like boom drops you into it. Like it goes from like 15 to 100, and it is awesome. It is so much fun.
I do wish that I could have a resolution somewhere between 1920 and 3840. I would love a resolution in the middle of those two things, and for whatever reason, it just won't pop up. So that's my only complaint so far about this game.
It's a fair complaint. It is an old game that apparently nobody left at BioWare/EA knows anything about, and so therefore is never getting a remaster, because they would have to remake it from the ground up. Is because no one knows the code or anything about it, or like the people are all gone. So like I was reading about this, like why isn't there a Dragon Age remaster? Because there's nobody who knows how to remaster it apparently. So that's that. Just not gonna happen. But it does look good, more or less. I'm really happy with how it looks. I wish you had I wish you could play it on a proper size, but other than that,
oh well.
Yeah. I'm not unhappy with how it looks. So we said a bunch about mods the past few weeks, so this is the last thing we're going to say about mods. I should have brought this up immediately, and that's 100% my bad. So really do apologize. I didn't think I needed to say it, and then Daniel's like, yeah, these mods are so hard, I think I'm putting them in the right place, and I'm like, oh, bud. Are you using the Vortex mod manager that comes with Nexus? And he goes, no. I'm like, So, if you're not using the Vortex mod manager, you just go to Nexus mods and then like search for their Vortex mod manager. You just install that, and then you can install all the mods from Nexus just through that. And it takes care of like all the complicated stuff for you. So like 90% of the work with running mods is done.
Yeah, that's a lot easier than what I was doing, which was going into the into every single like the file, and then creating certain folders within certain folders, and copying and pasting and selecting .da zips, and making sure like it was a time. And not a good one. And not a good time at all. And it took me like an hour, and I was like, I think I'm doing this wrong. Because when I originally went to Nexus Mods, when I did Mass Effect, there was a Nexus Mods manager for Mass Effect. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is just like a specific thing. And then when I tried to find one for Dragon Age, there wasn't one specific to Dragon Age. Or there was, and it just didn't work well. And then I looked up just Nexus Mod Manager, and Nexus Mod Manager only works for a select number of Nexus mods. So I went, okay, well, there's no other mod manager, so I guess I'll just have to do it on my own. Let alone, surprise, Vortex Mod Manager is super easy to use and pretty important to use for the Steam variant of the game. So it is functioning now, and I feel good about it. Don't do what I did. Just download the Vortex Mod Manager, and you'll be good to go.
So Storm Rage, you are running a couple of voluntary mods that I have not brought up. Do you want to bring up the 2 mods that you are running on top of the other 4 that I'm running?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm running, surprise, surprise, a polyamory mod, so I can, yet again, romance as many people as possible. And then I am running an armor optional mod, which I haven't fully delved into, but I'm hoping it means that I can make my main character as thirsty as possible. And my goal is to have the thirstiest group of Dragon Age companions that have ever existed.
Hey, you know what? Live your life.
Yeah, thank you.
So, as far as the Dragon Age Origins game schedule is concerned, the plan is to stick with 6 hours a week. I am currently 2 weeks ahead to ensure that we don't have a Chrono Trigger situation again, where we played like for 4 hours one week and then 12 hours the next week. Oopsie. So this means we won't have a set schedule. Like the entire game won't be planned like beginning to end like we do with Mass Effect. But we should avoid like awkward weeks where all of a sudden it's like, okay, this is just out of control, and to get to the end means we have to skip stuff or we're trying to cram too much into a week or something like that. So I do have the next 2 weeks ready to go. The first week is just origin stories through Tower of Ishal. That's really, it's a perfect ending spot for the first week. So I'm pretty confident about that. And then I'll just keep kind of everyone up to date week to week. If you're playing ahead of us, the schedule doesn't really matter anyways. But if you're joining us, just kind of know that I will keep updating the Dragon Age Origins pinned comment with what is up. So like the first 2 weeks are up right now in the Dragon Age Origins channel in our Discord. So keep an eye out there for that kind of stuff. Let's go.
I'm excited, friends.
I am now downloading Vortex Mod since I don't have it.
I feel really irresponsible. All right, here we go with some patron thanks.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank.
Big thank you to our patrons and our Twitch subs. We are back on Twitch. We've talked about this for like over a month now. So if you want to throw a Prime sub or a non-Prime sub at us, you certainly can. You get access to Squelch After Dork through our Discord channel. Patrons continue to get access to through Patreon Discord. $5 and above patrons will get the complete unedited podcast on Sunday nights via Patreon. This week, it was almost more of a pre-dork this week because for some reason we just didn't.
We just kept talking about stuff that didn't matter, and Dana was like, hey, can we maybe start the show? And Matt and I were like, hold up. Other thing that doesn't matter.
Yes. Pre-dork.
This episode of Squelch is going to be a long one, so almost certainly no after dork. But if for some reason we get through this quick, we'll come up with something on the fly at the end. So, but yeah, I would say probably not expect an after dork this week. Speaking of things we need to get started on doing, here is some lore.
This one's a real page turner.
There's got to be like a lore Star Trek character drop that we can use, right, Matt? Like,
I mean, we can just use lore.
I mean, we could just use lore. Like, is there's like a bunch of characters saying lore's name? Lore.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So, quick cast of characters. So, Ayla, a cave woman from 65 million BC. Chrono, the game's protagonist, and hails from 1000 AD. Luca is Chrono's childhood inventor pal, also from 1000 AG. Sorry, I forgot that we're using before Guardia and after Guardia. So, 1000 AG after Guardia. Marl, which rhymes with snarl, is actually Princess Nadia of the Guardia Kingdom. Marl is from 1000 AG. Frog is a frog. His name rhymes with monologue. Frog is a great sword fighter from 600 AG. Robo is an R series robot from 2300 AG. Epoch is our time machine. It was built by Balthazar, the guru of reason. It is just a time machine. It travels through time, but not space. So you still have to walk wherever you want to go after getting to the time you want to go to. At this time, this is how it works.
I was so mad when I first got in this thing. I was like, "Oh, it can't move? What?
Yeah.
What?"
You get the Epoch, and its only purpose is to get you to back to the 1200 AG or 12,000 AG, whichever one it is, and then is basically functionally worthless because it's just way more convenient to use the portals.
Yeah.
Melchior is the guru of life. He makes weapons.
Yeah, we don't need to talk more about that. What a normal thing for the guru of life to do.
Also makes armor.
Yeah.
Balthazar,
I mean, we don't see that as much. He didn't make like a legendary piece of armor. He made a legendary weapon.
he does if you do the right side quest.
Oh, well, I didn't do that one.
Balthazar is the guru of reason. He built the Blackbird, the Ocean Palace, and the Epoch. Gasper is the guru of time. We don't actually know anything else about him yet. Wink.
Also, these are the same names of the three magi that visited Jesus.
Oh, good catch.
Oh.
We're such religious people.
I'm just saying, there's some things.
Well, I mean, I do love I do love that we caught Flea, Slash, and Ozzy, but did not catch Melchior, Balthazar, and Gasper. So
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like
But that's probably like the end of biblical references. Surely there won't be
No,
a time
never-
in which
there's-
our
yeah.
main character is resurrected after a certain number of days.
totally, by the way, like totally T-poses in a very specific way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get to the recap.
Thanks, Gato. Before we start on the recap, I have a confession to make. I don't know how else to say this. I didn't know who Gato was until this week because I just didn't pay that close of attention to the festival.
Oh.
So you guys were like, "Oh yeah, Gato's theme," and I was like, "Who's Gato?" In my brain, I was like, "This is some like end boss or something that we would see." I'm
Nope.
sure I even in the recap read his name, but I had never internalized what it was until this week when I had to beat him up for some festival tickets. So that's just me putting that out there. But let's go ahead and get into this week's recap. Last week we defeated the Giga Gaia and freed Melchior, the guru of life. How cool of us. Certainly nothing crazy is going to happen after that. Oh, wait, the mountain of whoa. Chain has broken and the mountain is crashing into the sea. Chrono and the Time Squad flee with Melchior to the village of the Lost Ones. And in case you forgot, because, well, I did, the village of the Lost Ones is where the magical kingdom of Zeal sticks to people who can't use magic. Melchior tells the Time Teens that they need to stop the Queen from using the Mammon machine in the Ocean Palace because it will wake up Lavos. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Shala and Jonas barge into the Mongol village and tell us that the Ocean Palace is complete. Melchior believes that all is lost, but Shala tells him that no, the Mammon machine is just a machine and it needs her to activate it, and she will never ever do that again. Janus is bumming around over the sign, and he complains about how dirty everything is, which, to be fair, it is. They are basically in a dirt house. But Shala chooses now to mention to the Muggles that being a Muggle is good, because a Muggle means you aren't under the control of Lavos. Maybe that's why the people of Zeal tell the Time Buds their magic isn't as good? Who knows? And I don't like this explanation because it implies that anybody that has magic is under the control of Lavos or gets
Yes.
it from Lavos,
Mhm.
which doesn't. Then we should be as well, right? Like we should also be under the control of Lavos. Is that like explicitly talked about at any point, or is that just kind of like, well, we'll just throw it under the rug? It's different because we merge our society with the Muggle-borns, and when they're half-bloods, they're not under the control of Lavos?
Yes. So I think there is like a little bit of like lore about that that's kind of hidden a bit in like side comments made by Luca and then in a few side quests. So Luca and Robo kind of hypothesize that even though the time portals exist because of Lavos, they aren't created by Lavos. They are created by another larger entity that they don't really define. And so, like, the magic that the Time Teens use is also sort of like kind of provided by that other entity because they need to get
by
it
the
via
other cosmic entity that isn't the main boss that we've been fighting this entire time, that comes out of nowhere and isn't really fully explained.
Yes.
Ha!
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah. So, like, a Specchio has to give the Time Teens and the Time Squad their magic, except for Megas, who does get his magic via Lavos, right? So
Yeah.
Though who also might not get his magic via Lavos because stuff happens. But anyways, yeah. So I believe the magic that like the Kingdom of Zeal uses, they had it via the Sunstone before, so that magic wasn't always there. So they used to use the Sunstone to get their magic.
Yeah.
And then they switched over from Sunstone magic. They switched over from coal to atomic because atomic was just better, and atomic being Lavos, right? And then after that was done, so they did have their magic before Lavos. They just kind of got it via a different source. So there are multiple sources where you can get magic. It's just that currently the Kingdom of Zeal is getting their magic via Lavos.
Okay.
That makes
All
sense.
right. That's yeah.
Yes.
It's
45%
I give that
sense?
explanation. Not your explanation, but the game's explanation, a C-. Because like, okay, then
Yeah.
why do we bother calling it out at all? Shala begs us to use the Skyway, which is the magic way in which you get up to the sky, in order to destroy the Mammon machine and stop their mother. Cue the bad guys. Sir Dalton, one of the minions of the Queens, barges in and kidnaps Shala, and despite the fact that we have an entire army there and could easily defeat him between all of us, we don't. We let him go. So we have to go stop him. So we cue the Chrono Trigger theme and we head to the Zeal Palace to save the day, because we could save them in the palace, but certainly not when they come into our home. That's
No.
ridiculous.
No,
There were
that'd be silly.
civilians around. You don't want to get civilians involved.
Yeah. That'd be bad. What did you guys? We have a discussion point marked here. What do you? Any thoughts? Anything you guys want to call out?
I think we talked about it more or less, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, there was like the point of like where magic was coming from, right? Like I think that was like, we got the Lavos power versus the Moon Sunstone power, which is like the Moon Sunstone's the good, Lavos is the easy dark side way, right? Is that the way it kind of works?
That is how it works. Yeah, but no.
So
I'm not sure why I don't stop Dalton there, but it's fine.
it's a great question.
Yeah, I think every person who played it's like, wait a minute, why don't we just fight him?
Yeah,
like,
he's just right here. We also have Melchior, who can he's the guru of life. You're telling me he can't help out at all?
No, he's
okay,
useless.
all right.
And it's literally what we do. Like, we just fight people. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like, oh,
Really
this time
good
we're
at
not gonna do
Yeah.
it. Cool.
Yeah. So
The
Chrono and
plot!
the Time Crew get to the Zeal Palace. They are full of vim and vigor, ready to take on anything the Queen throws at them. Looks like it's just that Dalton fella from before to begin with. After a pretty easy fight, again making it even weirder that we couldn't fight him earlier,
Right.
he runs down into the Ocean Palace. Well, that was anticlimactic. Cue the Chrono Trigger theme, because we're going to the Ocean Palace to save the day. Yet again, he just keeps going away. And we're like, all right, we'll fight you later. The Ocean Palace is a big old JRPG dungeon, and not an easy one. You know what we're talking about. It's a bit like a maze. There are a ton of enemies to fight through, and going the wrong way is the right way, because the wrong way is where the sweet, sweet loot is hidden. The Ocean Palace is full of magical creatures that use powerful magics, but thankfully are weak-ish to magic. Time for Luca and Marl to shine. After making their way through the entire Ocean Palace, they are confronted by Dalton once again. And Dalton runs away again and summons the Golem Sisters. This is a pretty fun fight in which, once you figure it out, what the Golem Sisters do is they mimic the same elemental attack that was just used against them. what you can do is use the elemental vests that the Time Pals picked up from the magical chest to make 2 of your characters heal from specific magic type, and then just use that magic type and 2 of your 3 characters don't take any damage. Easy peasy. Or you could just throw a bunch of damage at them. You don't have to do the smart thing. I didn't. Now it's time to take on Dalton. Dalton runs away. Stop running, you stupid coward!
So this is like just the most prototypical JRP dungeon. Like right down to the recurring comic relief boss. I personally used ice magic with Chrono and Marl, and felt very, very smart. I was like, oh, I figured it out. I'll just go in and we'll use ice and it'll be great. And I'm so awesome. And then that I read later that the actual strats to use fire, because then you use the 2 red armor vests, and then Luca has her Tabin vest. So you don't have to sacrifice one of your characters. And I felt dumb, but I felt smart for an instant. But yeah, it's Dalton though, man. Guy.
I had the worst time on the elevator. Going down, like where you had like 3 or 4 boss fights or 3 or 4 fights in a row on the elevator, and they had all those seekers. Yeah, for some reason it just like I had to do that 3 or 4 times before it finally stuck.
Is that the one where you just really desperately needed AoEs, just blow through it as quickly as
possible?
Yeah,
you have AoEs, but like the different colored seekers. So if you use a different color magic, they just destroy you.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, we chase down Dalton yet again, down to the deepest, darkest depths of the Ocean Palace, and we find the Queen and her court summoning Lavos. We have to stop them. We don't stop them. They summon Lavos. Oops. Seems like we probably could have done something a little sooner, but to each their own. We've got to kill Lavos. Lavos defeats us. Uh-oh, game over? The prophet is there with the queen, and he reveals that he is actually Magus, and that that it has been his goal the entire time to summon Lavos, to destroy Lavos. Magus, bad idea, bad plan, friend.
Yeah.
You could just, make him not exist, and then you don't have to worry about it. Bad plan. Magus fights Lavos. Lavos defeats Magus. The queen laughs at everyone because all of their plans, turns out, were just bad. Chrono wakes up. Chrono's gonna fight Lavos 1v1. Nope, he dies. Literally, just Chrono is gone, and
He's
there's
vaporized.
nothing we can do. Chrono's body is disintegrated.
Yeah.
Shala helps the remaining members of the Time Rangers run away. Couldn't have done that 10 seconds earlier? It doesn't matter. She asks that we not hate her mother for her kingdom, which it seems like I probably get the right to at this point.
Yeah.
Shala remains behind after using the last of her magic to send Magus and the Time Patrol to the surface. Lavos breaks through the surface of the Earth and destroys the magical kingdom of Zeal before sinking back beneath the waves. The Ocean Palace is now above the Earth in all times at once, and is now known as the Black Omen. Cool name.
Very.
The Time Squad wakes up in what is ominously called the Last Village. Every other village fell beneath the water. As we talk to the villagers, Dalton attacks the village again and tells everyone that they no longer live in the Kingdom of Zeal. No, now they are living in the Kingdom of Dalton. During a bout of maniacal laughter, Dalton notices the survivors of the Time Knights, and he tells our heroes that he has taken the Epoch and taking them with him because he can't have them sowing the seeds of rebellion amongst the citizens. Yet again, an opportunity for us to, fight him? We don't. We get kidnapped instead. We get pretty hard diffed. He kidnaps the Time Corps by pointing them and yelling, "Look at that!" And then it works out because apparently all we need is just a single hit and we're unconscious. And then not only does he just not kill us, he takes us on the giant airship, the Blackbird. A lot of wild choices in this one.
Right? I love this because I love this whole section. Honestly, it's ridiculous, but I love it. You know, the fact that the main character of the game is dead, just dies straight up, gets vaporized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is like, okay, and now everybody else has to figure it out.
Lose access to all his gear, so if you had the
lose
best
everything.
gear on him, it's gone.
Yep.
It's super cool. It's super fun. I absolutely love that they just straight up offed Chrono.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It was a ton of fun, and the grief was kind of real, and it's super neat.
Yeah, I made a lot of goofs about this section because I think there are a lot of story points that feel really forced, but the moment where Chrono does sacrifice himself feels really earnest. And the discussion that the team members have afterwards, like I think I had Frog and Marl at that point, was really well written. And the kind of desperation afterwards and the looking around at the remains of society afterwards, also really, really strong.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. If you actually go to the world map here, it will show that everything is underwater except for this island. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of great. Love it.
From there, the Time Kids wake up and find themselves without their weapons, armor, items, or money in a cell inside the Blackbird. To escape, they jump into the air vents and make their way around the Blackbird to find their weapons, armor, and money conveniently located in one chest apiece. You have to find each character's equipment separately. If you haven't found their gear, they can't attack. But they can still cast magic, so if you just have a bunch of magic users...
No.
What?
They don't have turns.
They don't have turns. They just sit there and, like, they don't do anything.
Oh, interesting. Then
Did you have...
this section was super easy because I did have Ayla, and Ayla doesn't need her stuff, so she could just murder. And then I found Marl's real fast, so then those two were just doing a bunch of damage. It takes forever to find everything because this place is a stupid maze, and I hate it a lot. You can actually try to leave the Blackbird without picking up your gear, but the game asks if you really want to do that because it's a bad idea. Dano, do you want to talk about what you have here?
Yeah, I brought Ayla with, and she doesn't. So Ayla doesn't use weapons. She just always has fist. So Ayla has weapon. Does my words are very hard right now. Apparently, holy buckets.
Yeah.
So I, by sheer coincidence, had Ayla with me, just like Storm Rage did. So this was very easy because she just punched everything very hard until I found everybody else's gear. It was just like, I think it's supposed to be difficult because you just sneak around in the vents to find that first person's gear, and then they have a turn and you find the second person's gear. But if you just have Ayla, it's super simple, barely an inconvenience.
I had Luca, Marl, and Robo. It wasn't that hard. It was just finding where to go, and honestly, at one point, I just stopped using the vents. I just start using the floor because the fights weren't that hard. They're like all the guards are like one shots, so it's like not that bad.
After we finally find everyone's stuff, it is time to find Dalton and get back the Epoch. Did I mention that he stole that earlier? He stole that earlier. The Time Pack does this by walking out on the giant wings of the Blackbird. Why? Guys, I'm out of answers. I'm out of answers for some of the choices that get made in this last section here. They just do things.
Zero
who's
sense.
to say?
0 cents.
That we even look in and we can look in and see a scene where they're working on the plane. And so it's oh, well then we're just going to go there and stop them from finishing it, right? No, we got to go outside on the bird for some reason. Oh well. The Time Bunch makes their way across the wings, fighting against laser systems. Do you have to kill everything else on the wing before it triggers? Yes. Is this the only point in the game where you have to kill everything before something triggers? I think so.
No, I didn't kill anything. I literally walked to the edge of the wing and the golem showed up. I missed. I didn't have to.
The look on Storm Rage's face is really good.
I walked around this wing for no joke 30 minutes trying to get it to trigger.
You just have to fall to the bottom left. If you just fall to
you go to the bottom left. You can't go to the far left. And if you go to any other bottom section, it doesn't trigger. So I went to the far left, and then I was like, oh, maybe I need to go down. And then I went down to every other one except for the one specific spot I needed to go to. And I was like, well, this is the dumbest thing ever. I hated this section, if you can't tell. When you eventually get to the bottom left-hand edge of the wing, because it's not just all the way to the left, you have to go to the bottom for some reason. The Golem Overlord is summoned to destroy us. What will our fearless team do? Murder a terrified golem. That's what. Yep, the Golem Overlord is legitimately afraid of heights and just sits there as we murder it. Cool. Once the evil and very scary Golem Overlord has been taken care of, we are given a cut scene of Dalton putting wings on the Epoch, and he takes off to fly around on his new kingdom. Luckily for the Time Squad, they are standing on one of the wings of the Blackbird, which triggers Dalton to attack them. seems like a bad choice, bro. The Time Teens, angry at Chrono's death and blaming Dalton for reasons, jump into the newly added wings of the Epoch and fight Dalton. Dalton tries to summon another one of his golems, but none appear because we've killed all of them. And he is sucked into his own summoning portal. Bye, Dalton!
Yeah.
What are everybody's thoughts on the Blackbird?
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of this kind of stuff can be waved away with like 1990s JRPG shenanigans, magoofs.
Yeah.
But this one is the goofiest. Like, why are we walking on the wings? There's nowhere to get to if we go to the edge. It's not like we're walking like maybe we one thing for like built a catamaran, right? And we have to leave one section and we're trying to get to the other section because that's a cockpit or something like that. And if we get to the cockpit, then we can like somehow like take over the Blackbird. Like that would make sense. But no,
that's what I expected. That's why I was looking for something to drop down onto instead of just going to the one specific pixel that I needed to go to.
Instead, you have to almost fall off the wing. And then it triggers the boss fight. It is truly nonsensical. I do like the idea that they took all your stuff. That's kind of fun. Like,
that's fun.
Yeah, getting it back is fun. But
that's the common trope in JRPGs, right? There's always one section where they take your stuff and you have to find it, right? Isn't that like a thing?
Yeah, sometimes I think so. Yeah, but like in this, like, why am I walking on this wing? Like, there's zero reason for me to. If they gave a reason why I'm walking on the wing, they didn't. I don't remember it, so it didn't stick with me. But, yeah, I don't know. It's great though.
Kids,
whatever.
That's the answer.
Kids,
yeah,
teens, just being teens.
Time teens.
Well, after we learn how to fly the Epoch and shooting down the Blackbird in the process, we land at the last village and learn that a mysterious stranger is looking for us. Also, Janice's cat and a sad little bar are now friends, and that's kind of nice. We head to the North Peak to find this mysterious stranger who is looking for us, Magus. Magus tells us what happened when the Queen summoned Lavos in the form of a cutscene. Convenient. Thanks, Magus. He tells us that when Lavos was summoned, the three gurus, Melchior, Gaspar, and Balthazar, were sucked into time vortexes. Janus, looking for his sister, walked into the room and was sucked into a time vortex. Que horror! This cutscene shows Melchior popping out of the cupboard in 1000 AG. Balthazar appears in 2300 AG, and Janus appears in 600 AG, right in front of Ozzy, who attacks him with a handful of imps, and Gaspar ends up in a blank, empty void, which he immediately deduced, this is the end of time. Clever guy. It turns out that Magus is Janus, and Janus is Magus, one and the same. Magus has been trying to summon Lavos this whole time so he could get revenge for sending him back in time to 600 AG. Again, bro, bad plan. Just a bad plan.
Yeah.
This is the time where Magus figures it is time to tell the Time Walkers how stupid their friend Chrono is for trying to kill Lavos. You know, the thing Magus has spent his entire life trying to do, and could have just... it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He challenges the lads and ladies to a fight. If they take him up on it, they kill him, and that's that. If they say they don't want to fight, Magus will chase them down and join the team.
So I had Frog in my party and was the party leader at this point. So when I was talking with Magus, I got carried away with the role playing, and it was like, "You darn tootin', we're gonna fight. Let's take this. Let's do this, Magus." And so Frog and Magus had a 1-on-1 fight to avenge Cyrus. And then after it was done, I was like, "Oh, oopsie. I think I was supposed to recruit him." So I went back to a save and said, "I don't want to fight." But I totally got into the role playing and was like, "Take that, Magus."
Yes, good.
I mean, Magus isn't that great of a party member, but yeah,
I think he is super useful in some parts.
Yes,
because Magus has all four elements, and everything is full AOE. So he's not great against boss fights unless there are a lot of like sections to the boss. But he is great at clearing out chuff and anything that's like, here's 6 dudes, kill them. He's great at those.
Yeah, and he starts with all 3 elemental attacks and then also a shadow attack and gets the rest fairly quickly.
Dark Bomb is good.
Dark Bomb's really good.
Yeah. Now that Magus is part of the party, probably, he tells us that Gaspar, the Guru of Time, actually knows how to restore streams of time that have been diverted from their proper courses. Wow, that's really helpful, because we have a friend who is totally diverted from his proper time stream. Let's go talk to the Guru of Time! We get to the end of time, and the old man in the dapper hat, who we know is Gaspar, the guru of time, asks what happened to the nice young man. The time friends tell Gaspar that Chrono is dead, and Gaspar tells them that the only thing he could do is play a sad little song. It's a pretty sad song, so, could be worse. Thanks, Gaspar. Now that the time pilots have spoken to Gaspar and learned there's nothing they can do and that Chrono is really gone forever, they head back to the Epoch because even though Chrono is dead, they still have a world to save. And Chrono's been dead for at least 3 days. Can you imagine someone being resurrected after 3 whole days of time? Couldn't be me. Psych! As soon as they move back towards the Epoch, Gaspar calls them out and gives them an egg. This excites Ayla, and she asks if it is a gift and she can eat it. She can't, because this is actually the Chrono Trigger. Exciting, they said the name of the thing in the thing. The Chrono Trigger is a time egg, and Balthazar can help us hatch it. Before the Time Brigade can pop off to 2300 AG, Gaspar gives the Time crew this cryptic warning. But know that it may not necessarily hatch the results which you desire. The Chrono Trigger represents potential. As long as you keep Chrono in your heart and pursue what you seek, the results should follow. Wow, that's heavy. That will almost certainly be important later. Oh, just kidding. It's not at all in any point referenced at any point throughout the rest of the game.
No.
And this is also, I'm curious which came first, because I think...
The Chrono Trigger or the egg?
In a sense, yes. There is an anime. So the shonen of this anime was just before Chrono Trigger, and it revolves around basically this exact same concept. It's in Yu Yu Hakusho, and Yu Yu Hakusho, or Yusuke, dies, and the way that he comes back to life is he is given an egg, and the egg itself is based on the actions and the potential that it could be. And that actually does pay off. It does, showcase his energies and things. But this is, beat for beat, the exact same thing as Yu Yu Hakusho.
Wow, so that's a really good catch, though, because Yu Yu Hakusho was a late 90s anime. And by the way, it still holds up. If you're looking for just a wonderfully fun anime to go and watch, go watch Yu Yu Hakusho. It holds up.
Yeah, Yu Yu was
well.
92, so this was 3 years before Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, this would have happened during development, right? They might have been watching Yu Yu Hakusho while this game was being developed.
It could be a trope of some sort in Japanese culture, though, as well, that we're just unaware of.
But really cool if it paid off in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah, super disappointing that it doesn't, because, it's this super, and, even, make it, work into the quest line or something.
Maybe
we don't have to go back to the stupid festival. Instead,
and do the festival thing. Try to make
You don't have to. You can pay with gold, by the way. If you just after you.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just do your best, and after you fail, it's okay, you did terrible, but you could pay with gold. I'm like, thanks, bud.
I wish I could have known that.
Yeah. I just wish that this was something that paid off later in a more significant way. But you know what? We've got our Egg McMuffin. Let's go ahead and head back to 2300 AG, where we find we talk about some creatures. You want to talk about the new?
Yeah. So real quick, before we get to 2300 AG, there are creatures called new NU. Rhymes with moo.
Brew.
Poo.
Stew.
Lou.
True.
Grew.
Pew.
What's happening?
This is the best bit ever. I think Grew is my favorite. So new rhymes with Grew. So these are artificial constructs that are used a lot in the Kingdom of Zeal. They're like these big blue. They're kind of Grew adjacent, actually. They're kind of these big blue, they have these big blue round bodies, then these spindly little legs. So
they're minions 1.0.
They kind of are. So anyways, these are constructs of magic that are used in the Kingdom of New. So that's important for Endless to make sense, because we've not brought up the New before. Sorry. So
yeah.
Now we're off to 2300 AG. The Time Teens get to 2300 to speak to Balthazar, the Guru of Reason. But when we get there, his New tells us that Balthazar just died. Don't think too hard about this in the context of time travel. Sure, we could think long and hard about how time continues to move forward from the first moment in which they actually enter the period. But do we need to think about it? Moving on.
Oh,
Balthazar
but,
is dead.
actually,
this
no, I
reality
wanna talk
really
about-
is the end of the road.
I want to
Yes?
talk about it because I figured it out actually. But I was going to bring it up in other places, but I don't. So I want to bring it up here. So here's my theory on how time travel works in Chrono Trigger. So the minute they enter into a new time period, they exist in that time period's timeline. So every point they enter into that time period, they now enter in however long after their initial like entrance begins. So they continue to move along all time periods at once. So when they just existed in 1000 AG, they were only existing in 1000 AG. Then they went back to 600 AG, they also were existing in 600 AG's timeline. So as they exist in 600 AG's timeline, even though they weren't existing in that time, time was still moving forward. So they are existing in all timelines at once, and all time is moving forward. But until they first enter that timeline, they're no longer they're not part of it. So, but once they enter it, they are part of that time stream and move along with it. So it's not like a Doctor Who time travel where you can like kind of go back to fixed points. You always go back to that time, but that time had been moving forward. You cannot go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's my favorite time travel, actually. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
It's very Doctor Who because you can't go back in time to the point you were already there. You had to go like move forward.
Except for where they did over and over with what's her name's dad.
I mean, yeah.
Why am I forgetting her name? It was the first companion of the
Rose's
dad. Yeah, Rose's dad.
And that you saw the consequences that happened when you did that.
True.
See. Anyway, first season of Doctor Who. Go watch it.
Anyway, Balthazar's dead. This really is the end of the road. Chrono is not coming back. But wait, is that... Balthazar uploaded his consciousness into his new assistant from the top row? Balthazar/New tells the Time Teens that to save Chrono, they will need to create a clone of Chrono to replace him at the exact moment that Lavos killed him. But don't we have an egg to do that? Oh,
no.
Well. This really is the end of the mission. Save Chrono, because surely there is no other way to construct an exact perfect replica of Chrono unless... Wait. What about that creepy tent at the Millennium Fair that some of us didn't go into in the first place? Mashing back on! The Time Squad heads back to where it all started, 1000 AG in the Millennium Fair. They walk into Norstein's Beckler's Tent of Horrors, and Beckler's like, yeah, no problem. I can give you an exact replica doll of your dead friend. I just need 40 tickets. Well, Chrono's never coming back because we could never earn 40 tickets. When we only earn 5 tickets of the drinking game and our best drinker is Chrono, and he is in fact dead, unless we beat up Gato 3 times for a total of 45 tickets. And this is when Stormwage finally realized who Gato is. That's very lucky. Mission back on. We head back to Beckler and we have to play one of the games. If you play poorly, he just lets us pay in gold. Sort of feels like maybe we shouldn't have had to use the tickets, but whatever. Beckler sends the clone of Chrono to Chrono's house, which is weird. We head to Chrono's house and Chrono's mom asks how Chrono is doing. We lie to her and tell her, doing great. We head back to 2300 AG, and the Balthazar/New combo entity tells us that we have to go to the top of the Death Peak to replace the doll with Chrono, and he gives us 3 little buddies to help us climb Death Peak. Off to Death Peak! What could possibly go wrong?
Not a lot. I think it goes pretty well.
No.
This part, I hated this part. I really hated this part. Like where you have to do the doll thing, and then you lie to Chrono's mom. That just feels wrong.
The doll thing's so weird.
Yeah.
So they have a specific name, Paizo dolls. I'm guessing again that's a thing we don't understand.
That would make a lot of sense.
Is it Paizo dolls?
Or Paizo. It's something like that. I don't know. I should have Googled it before this. So I'm guessing it's a thing that we don't understand. But they are a specific kind of doll. And they like have some sort of like consciousness where we're like, okay, this one's like, okay, I'm turning into a tree so you can hide behind me for the wind. And the next one's like, beware, it's slippery. Feel like he could have just given us a windbreak or something. That's the only time I feel like. And then the third time it was like, hey, you should go climb this shell. And that was neat, I guess. But I don't know. I felt like it was really unnecessary to have this as part of it. Like, why not just like have him have him gain entrance to Death Peak or something like that? Because before you can go into Death Peak, but like the wind blows you back. So why not just have some like MacGuffin or a McMuffin, if you will, to just have the wind die down? I don't know.
Yeah, sure seems like that'd be the easiest option, is just be like, wind's done. You're good.
Yeah, so...
No. Yeah.
I don't know. But, yeah, and then, like, having to go back and get the tickets to get the doll, and it's all a little weird. It's not...
I feel really dumb trading in those tickets for gold early on in the game now.
I mean, it was 3 very easy fights with Gato. You just one hit him.
Like,
I mean, it wasn't like it was
they're one hit fights, but it's like also Gato has to do his
song
lyric at every time, and it's like, okay, Gato, we get it. I like the theme, but Gato, you need to. Okay, we got it. Can I leave? Before? Can I just get my 15 tickets, please?
We're being so critical. To be fair, though, it's not like it's not deserved. But it is definitely silly. It's not. It's not silly. Serious, right? Which I think that is something to be very clear about. It has serious moments, like it deals with like Chrono's death and the death of a friend within Cyrus and Frog and that kind of. So it deals with serious things, but it's mostly an unserious game. And so like to be like, oh, why did it give us these dolls? Well, it's an unserious game, right? It's not. Yeah. Not everything has to be grounded in whatever. So. Yes, is it silly? Yes, but it's also a silly game, so.
Yeah. Up on Death Peak we go! Death Peak is a fairly stock dungeon again. Climb mountains, kill monsters, repeat. One cool thing is that we get to fight Lavos spawn, which are like mini Lavoses. And if you attack their shell, bad things happen. Don't attack their shell, ever. Don't ever attack their shell. Don't use AoE here. It's dangerous. It'll just counterattack you and murder you. We get to the peak of Death Peak, bring out the Chrono trigger, time egg, raise it to the sky, and it shatters. Oopsies! Marl is devastated. Lucas says it was a silly thing to think of we could bring him back. Marl cries out, please answer me, don't leave me, Chrono. End of mission, goodbye! But wait, is that eclipse and spooky music from the top rope?
Bum-ba-da-bum.
The Time Teens are transported to the moment of Chrono's death. Time is frozen in the instant that Chrono died. They see their original selves unconscious in the ground, and Chrono is about to get obliterated by Lavos. They take the time-frozen Chrono from his spot and replace it with his clone, which is just a doll. Anything special about it? Nope, just a good old doll. They are returned to the peak of Death Peak, and Chrono is leaning up against a tree and wakes up. Marl falls to the ground and gives him a hug. She tells him that he can never leave them again and tells him everything that has happened since he died.
We talked about it just 2 minutes ago. We talked about how this is a very unserious game, but then this scene was, I think, awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. Yes.
Very cool, super touching. I love it's a really cute love story between Marl and Chrono. It's a little one-sided because Chrono's a silent protagonist, so it really is just all from Marl. But it is two-sided because we do see the ending. But yeah, I love it. And what's really, really neat about this scene is it changes depending on who you have in your party. So if you have Marl in your party, Marl always gets the lead here. The Marl loves Chrono scene. If you have Luca in your party but not Marl, you get Luca calling Chrono an idiot. Like very much like an anime Baka scene, I would assume.
Yeah.
And how dare he leave them and he can never do something like that again. It's a very cool friendship scene. It's too bad Chrono's mom doesn't remember her name. Rude. If you have Frog in your party, but not Marl or Luca, Frog says, and quote, "You are blessed to be so loved by everyone. You lucky, lucky fool."
I had this one and I loved it.
This one is so neat. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And then I think there's also a Robo scene, but it's nothing to write home about. And there might be a Mega scene, but I don't know. But the Marl, Frog, Luca, and are my 3. I think they're all 3 awesome, and they're all just kind of part of Chrono's relationship that is kind of just told through gameplay a little bit, and it's cool. It's a cool way to tell a story. It's really clever in how they do it. So
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The band is now fully back together, which means it's time to take on Lavos. Back at the end of time, Gaspar is like, okay, you guys can fight Lavos whenever you want. He's there. Go kill him, I guess. Lavos, here's a trash can, you can just jump in it and get to Lavos. Or if that seems weird, just go to 1999, and the moment Lavos emerges from the earth, and you can go fight him then. Or if that seems unfun, what about fighting your way through the Black Omen, the Ocean Palace? Gaspar also mentions that other people in time need your help. For example, a lady needs help planting a forest. A ghost of a certain knight whose name may or may not rhyme with Gyrus needs help getting to its final rest. An explorer needs assistance exploring. Not going to lie, I don't remember how this one is presented, but it's Toma? If you don't remember Toma, neither do I. Toma needs help finding the rainbow shell. So we can do all that, none of that, and more. It's all up to us. Eventually, we decide it's time to take down Lavos. Lavos will be slightly different depending on how you encounter it. Lavos is fought in 3 phases. The first is the boss rush style, where we learn that Lavos has been absorbing all life on Earth, and once it has absorbed everything, it will destroy the Earth and move on. Because Lavos has been absorbing everything, we actually have to refight some of our strongest opponents. Each part of this fight is a different boss, and it uses the attacks and defensive abilities of each boss. Once this phase is over, we have to fight Lavos in its shell form. In this form, Lavos will use some nasty spells, including one where it applies confusion to all party members, and another massive AoE spell that damages all party members. So having a full party heal can be really helpful. After beating this phase of Lavos, we have to enter Lavos' shell to fight its final form. Inside Lavos' shell, you can save and heal up, and we find the final form of Lavos, which is a giant monster Cyclops-looking thing with tubes going in and out of it, where it's absorbing all life on Earth. Turns out, it's an alien! Lavos' final form, yes, Dano?
There's actually one more final... There's actually 4 phases to the fight. I forgot about the 4th phase, was writing it down. So there is the ultimate, Lavos robot machine, and then the final one is, a weird, alien, weirdly long arms, Cthulhu-ish type of, Lavos that I completely forgot about. So there are 4 phases.
Yeah, there's a lot of Lavos here, guys. There's a lot of Lavos.
So much Lavos.
Lavos' final form has an ability where it can disable your items and make you immune. You're immune from status effects, just not work anymore, and then can cast Confuse or Sleep on party members. It also has a pretty big AoE, so having access to a full party heal, also helpful very here. After dealing with that, we kill Lavos and beat the game. Go team! One thing that I don't think we've talked about specifically, because it's mentioned throughout this section, is the idea, and Daniel, you did talk about it earlier, that turns out that there's another consciousness that is directing the time streams, that is leading us to various points in time to help deal with Lavos. It's never talked about who this is, and it's never revealed who this is. It's just there's another thing out there. Okay, I think that's the end of it. How'd you guys feel about Lavos, this final section here, and all that jazz?
I thought it was a bunch of fun. Matt, what did you think about Lavos, Matt?
It was hard. It was really hard. Especially since I literally I did the thing where I jumped right in to see how I do, and I talk about it a little bit later. But the first part I didn't like. The second part was fine, and then the third part was really hard.
Yeah, it's I enjoy Lavos. I think it's kind of fun. Once you get the proper level, if you go in at about level 50, you're able to take a good enough beating, and your healing is good enough where really you're fine through all the different phases. I think that's what I found. I thought the boss rush was clever, but it was just time consuming because really they hit for how they hit when you first encounter them. So it was a neat so
you could kind of just auto fight your way through the first half without doing much.
I mean, you really do. There were a couple times where I was AoE attack. All right, that form is down. I was so it was fine. What did you guys go in with your final? What was your final parties?
My final team was Marl, Chrono, and Ayla, which was my typical go-to at the end, because it just did so much damage. Haste was just crazy. I was able to get by without too much trouble. I had to use a lot of healing items, but I don't think I had to restart the fight at any point. I just used a lot of turbo elixirs, which fully restore your entire team's health and MP, which is super good. And Marl has a full res that will also restore them to full health, which was so necessary during a lot of this fight. So really good kind of support from her, and then Chrono and Ayla just did a ton of damage. The thing that I did find frustrating is I was walking through the walkthrough, And in the walkthrough, it's like if you kill Kronos' core, is like the big boss, and that has like 30,000 HP. And then there's like two other things about Lavos' thing. And if you kill one of them, then it brings the defenses down. So one of them has 2,000, the other has 20,000, the other has 30,000. So I was like, okay, great. I killed out the 2,000 thing, and then I assumed that the core was the one in the middle.
That's the one on the right.
That's not the core. The core is not the one in the middle. Why would it be? Why would the core be in the central thing that looks like a core? No, it's some floating disc off to the right. So I kept trying to kill this floating disc, and I was like, I've definitely done 20,000 damage to this thing. I know for sure. Why is it not dead? Are the numbers wrong? Nope, turns out it was just I was hitting the wrong thing.
That's really, really funny. I went in with Ayla, Frog, and Chrono. Chrono and Ayla have they have the Falcon Strike. Is it Falcon Strike? Is that right?
Falcon Strike is really
Falcon
good.
Strike, and that's
the vertical one, right?
Yeah,
or the horizontal one.
Horizontal across the screen, and it will like hit in all four phases. But in all three phases where you have multiple like arms and limbs and such, it will hit all of them at once, and it hits for just an absolute ton. And then Frog is just like a master of all trades, really. Has really good heals, so has a good like AoE heal in the spell Heal. And then also has Cure 2, which will heal a single character to max. And so between those two spells, and then also I had the triple tech between with Ayla, Chrono, and Frog, and that does like 4,000 damage, and that just hit like a truck. And then I had put the haste helm that I found in the Black Omen on Frog, so I would have Frog do his AoE heal, and then all three of them do the triple tech, and then Frog do his AoE heal, and then so I could like get the heals off in between like different things, or if Frog needed to throw an item on someone. So yeah, that haste helm was like MVP of the fight, I would say, because I was able to like pull off heals and do like massive damage with all three party
Turns out
members.
haste is good.
Yeah, haste is great.
Yeah, but then I also didn't get saddled with a character that couldn't do anything else, though. I got a good character.
I didn't need anything else from her. She was doing great. She was healing. She was resurrecting. She was doing everything I needed from her. Also, I will note the importance, like one of the side quests you can get, when you complete it, you can get some helmets that prevent status effects.
Yeah.
I was just running those helmets on every single one of my characters at the end because it was necessary.
Yeah, they're like what 50,000 gold, but like they're worth it.
You get them
yes,
from you can get them from the rainbow shell side quest. So Malkier will make 3 of them for you. There's armor you can get as well that keeps you from being like status affected. So I ran the helmet on 2 characters and then the armor on Frog is what I did.
Okay.
So I didn't have to worry about having the helm. I had the haste helm on him, and then I had the 2 helms on Ayla and Chrono. So what I ended up doing, and I think I stole like that really, really good armor from Queen Zeal or something like that, because Ayla has her steel.
Has the steel ability, yeah.
So that's just stealing a million mega elixirs from everything. So
yeah, I wasn't ready to deal with the status effects. That was my biggest problem. Like, and I ran out of like the panaceas like during the second phase, and then the third phase happened. Yeah. So
I went to
third phase is real scary.
I went to 1999 AG at one point with Frog, Magus, and Robo, like just to see what happens when you go there. And it was Lavos, and Magus was like, "What, you're gonna back out now, cowards? You can't back out now." And I was like, "All right, I guess we're gonna go fight it." So I went and fought it with those 3, and
did not happen.
The status effects got me. I was completely unprepared for the fight, and I was pretty underleveled for it. So I was like, "Oh, oopsie, I guess this is a poor idea." I might not even have Chrono back yet. I don't even know. I was just gonna, I would have got a real crazy ending.
Anything else you guys want to talk about the final fight here?
I thought it was fun. I mean, I thought the first phase was kind of unnecessary, but like it wasn't like it was the end of the world, like the boss rush one. It was kind of a fun little bit of storytelling via gameplay, where it's like he's sucking up all the energy of the earth, and this is one way that it is kind of showing that. So I like that, but
I
it wasn't.
do wish that it was shorter because it was like 12 different bosses, and I was like, okay, come on. I think that it would have been nicer to like combine them down and have like 6 fights where he had multiple different heads, because like there were a couple times where like he pops out a different head, and if you just popped out more like things that were just those bosses, then I think there's a more interesting fight to be had about like combining boss mechanics with one another, as opposed to just like, here's one boss that you beat when you were level 5. Now you're level 45. Are you gonna get it? Boy, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did Lavos over 2 nights. Like I did the first 2 phases, the first night. Then I got to the like inside of his shell where the last 2 phases are, and then I saved inside of his shell, and then came back the next night and finished the boss off. It is a very long fight. And then if you like include Black Omen with that, like that is a lot of.
It's a long time.
Because like the Black Omen leads directly into Lavos, which we're going to get to here in a second. But it is. I mean, it's huge. It's a massive dungeon, which ends in which is a cool way to end a video game. Like I have no problem with it whatsoever. But it was a lot. It was like, thank goodness for like the ability to save and leave and come back.
Well, let's go ahead and get to the endings. There are so many endings. So many endings. Some might say 5 different endings. All depending on when you kill Lavos. If you go through the Black Omen, which I believe all of us did, you get the good ending. Chrono is sleeping in his bed in 1000 AG, and a soldier wakes him up and takes him to Marl's dad, King Guardia. Marl comes to his defense saying he hasn't done anything, to which the king and the chancellor are both like, nah, JK, he's done a lot, so and so have you. You both saved the world. And then upbeat music starts playing, and all of our friends from all the different time periods start walking forward to thank Chrono and Marl. The big reveal is Luca popping up from behind the throne with the time key. The king tells Marl that all these people are her ancestors, including Kino and Ayla. So, that's a thing. Kino talks about how they're going to have a lot of kids. Isn't this not that... It isn't that surprising, since there were only like 20 people back then. So naturally, there were pretty good odds. But you know, oh well. Also, this is genuinely the first time that I noticed that Kino was a male. In my brain, he was just also a woman like Ayla was. Whoopsies.
I noticed you saying she every time you brought it up, and I was like, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
I didn't see any reason to correct you.
No.
The Chancellor runs off because he has to finish planning for the Moonlight Parade. The game skips to the night, and Chrono and Marl are marching around the square as part of the parade. After the parade is over, we head up to Luca's teleportation machine, and the whole time squad is waiting for us. Luca informs Chrono and Marl that the gate is getting weak, and that it is time for the time teens to head back to their own times. Luca gets really upset that Robo is leaving, because with Lavos destroyed, 2300 AG won't be a post-apocalyptic wasteland, so Robo and the rest of the R-Series probably won't be built. Robo assures her that he totally will be built, so everything will be fine. Robo runs into a wall because he is crying, and apparently robot tears are oil, so he can't see. He knows he's walking to his death. Marl thinks this is funny and laughs at him. After everyone is gone, the king presents Nadia's ball to Marl, a present from father to daughter. Nadia's bell, not ball, it's a bell. In my brain, I was like, it's a dance. It's not a dance, it's a bell. Once this is over, the game presents us with a number of anime cutscenes. The only 2 that are really worth talking about are Marl and Chrono cutscene and the Luca cutscene. In the Marl and Chrono cutscene, they're getting married. Isn't that fun and exciting? Chrono still doesn't say anything. Smart. In the Luca cutscene, she is out in the woods, doing whatever mad scientists do in the wood, and sees a baby in the tall grass? She smiles and just picks up the baby and walks away with it? The end. Who is this baby? Why does Luca why is a teenager picking up a baby? What's happening here? What is happening here?
It was out of the blue and makes no sense. There is no context to this baby. It was like wrapped in swaddling clothes, like just like left in the tall grass. She sees the baby and picks it up, and off she goes. Like, I was like, did I miss something? Why is Luca?
You might have, because I just Googled it because why not, right? It's ties to Chrono Cross. So there's some sort of tie to Chrono Cross with the baby, which is
so
the
they
sequel to
tied
this
the
game.
baby in to like a game that came out 10 years later or whatever.
Yeah, 10, 15 years later. Yeah.
Isn't Chrono Cross like 99?
It was a PS1 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 99, friends.
Oh, it felt like
Yeah.
it was a lot later.
So this was only 4 years later.
4 years later, they had the sequel on PlayStation. Okay, that makes
Well,
sense.
so Chrono Cross starts with you have to like place different locations down, and things are different depending on where you place locations. And this always freaked me out. Like I was doing it not optimally. So I was like, I bought the game and was going to play the game. But I was always like terrified I was going to play it incorrectly and not get the proper ending or whatever.
Are you just seeding the game at that point? Is that what that part is?
I don't know. I never played the game. I was always too terrified. I never got around to buying a strategy guide, so I never played Chrono Cross. Because I think
I played like. I think I played like 20 minutes of Chrono Cross, and like I was like, I'm over JRPGs. I'm like,
I think it's a great game. The soundtrack is amazing as well.
Yeah,
but I just never got around. I just never played it because I was terrified I was playing it wrong. But
and with that, we have the end of Chrono Trigger, friends.
End of Chrono Trigger. We did it.
I really like the ending here.
Mm-hmm.
It is also heavily implied that in order to prevent Robo from not existing, which who's to say how that if Robo couldn't have existed? How could Robo have helped fix the timeline in the first place? Regardless, Luca is building a Robo, and so I think that's one of the reasons that Maro like laughs is like, "Hey, Luca, you could just like build him and then he'll exist." So Luca goes, "Oh yeah, I can just do that." So it's shown that she is building an R series style robot, whether that's Robo or not, I don't know. But that is the implication of Robo is still alive. He's just built by Luca instead of by the future.
It's fun. The anime cutscenes weren't in the original game. And like all the anime cutscenes, they look great and they're fun.
Yeah, they look beautiful.
But I don't know that they really add a ton to the game. Like if you go back and watch the original pixel art like endings, I feel like they imply and tell just as much of a story as like the anime cutscenes do, except for the anime cutscenes are so much more like in your face about it. So like we'll talk about the endings when we get there, but I don't know that the anime cutscenes add to the game, to be honest. They're great, they're fine, but I don't know if it makes it better or not.
Okay, so Luca picking up the baby was added obviously in the DS version,
which would have been post Chrono Cross.
So it was like, so to tie it into Chrono Cross.
Oh.
It wasn't in there's no scene where Luca picks up a baby in the original.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
That
Diego in the chat from the top rope, bum. Missed chance to have Chrono Cross miss this December.
I mean, it could happen.
I'm not saying
not this
that
December.
We're not going to. I mean, Mass Effect Andromeda is great and all, but Chrono Cross miss? I mean, I don't know. We got time to think about it. I feel like decisions need to be made. Holy buckets. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident in my standpoint here.
Should we head over to Tea with Finley where we talk about a lot more of this game?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think we should.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
I can't get Chrono Cross out of my head.
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Can't get it out of my head. It's so good. It's so good. Chrono Cross will exist.
At some point in this show's future. Or its past.
All right. It's time for some side quests. And then after we're done with side quests, it's time for multiple endings. Start with the side quest, though. First up is all of these, by the way, if you haven't played the game, all of these side quests happen in between, like, they all happen during the final, like, push to fight Lavos. So you get to the end game, and Gasper's like we said, it's, you got these things you can help out with, and that's where all the side quests happen. The game doesn't really have side quests up until that point. So you can like stumble upon them a little bit, but like you don't have to kind of attempt any of them at any point until you get to the end. So first up was a sunken desert. This takes place in sunken desert. Yeah, I said that right. This place takes place in 600 AG. There's a small villa owned by Fiona and Marco in a small forest between the towns of Truce and Porre. The majority of the forest was destroyed by fiends during the war, and no matter what Fiona and Marco do, they can't revive it. The Time Gang discovers a monster living in the desert that appeared after the forest was destroyed. After they kill the monster, Robo decides to stay behind in 600 AG to help revive the forest. At this point, Robo leaves the party and can be seen in 600 AG watering and tilling the land around the villa. The Time Squad goes to 1000 AG to pick up Robo, and instead of a villa surrounded by desert, they find a forest surrounded by a chapel. Going into the chapel, they find Robo, but he is in really rough shape. The Time teens stay the night in the forest while Luca fixes Robo. This is hands down one of the most iconic scenes in the game, maybe in 90s gaming and perhaps even in like JRPGs in general. This campfire scene with Luca fixing Robo, it just like absolutely amazing. It's gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, Google it. It is absolutely gorgeous.
It's really good.
It's so good.
After everyone falls asleep, Luca hears the sound of a time portal opening. She walks over and enters the portal. It takes her back to her childhood home. Her mom is cleaning one of Tabin's inventions, and it turns on. A conveyor belt catching her mom's dress and pulling her toward the dangerous machinery. Luca's mom, Laura, yells for help, but child Luca doesn't know how to turn the machine off. Luca makes her way to the machine to turn it off, but it requires a password, and she has to input it correctly or Laura is pulled into the machine, paralyzing her from the waist down. We are not told what the password is, so you have to either get it right or you get it wrong. There's no going back to this moment.
There's a piece of paper you can read.
Oh,
in
is
one
there?
Of the other rooms that says like the password is my most prized.
Oh, the password is my most prized possession, or not possession, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the password.
Yeah, there is a piece of paper that just tells you what it is.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. The password is Lara, Lara. This is the day that child Luca dedicated herself to the study of science so she can prevent this sort of thing from happening to anyone else.
All right. So Magus' three generals. This is also one of my favorite side quests. You may or may not remember the way back in the episode 1 or 2 of our Chrono Trigger arc that when we first visited Medina Village, and a couple of fiends in that village, that pretty much everyone except for the nice couple with the portal in their cupboard hate humans. Ozzy the 13th is the mayor of that town and hates humans as well. Back in 600 AG, Magus' three generals are still up and kicking, so the time teams decided to finish the job. Three generals are having a place called Ozzy's Fort and need to defeat Flea, Slash, and Ozzy all over again, but this time, the Time Tamers have to fight them all at once. Ozzy runs away and hides in a block of ice. We leave him be after dropping him through the hole in the floor a second time. After destroying Ozzy's fort, we can go back to Medina Village in 1000 AG, and all the friends are pretty cool with humans. They don't have a statue of Magus in the courtyard. Ozzy the 13th is no longer the mayor, and there's a human engineer speaking to the new mayor about putting on a ferry between Truce and Medina so people can travel back and forth between the two towns.
I did not know that existed. I did not know that there was a difference or a change after you did this. I just did the mission, and then it was over, and I was like, oh, well, that was kind of lame. And there's not a reward. There's no, like, item that you get for doing this. So I just went, well, I guess it was just for the XP along the way.
It's just good to see Flea, Slash, and Ozzy again one last time and kick him in the butt.
That's too bad.
That's all it is.
It's really fun when you head back to 1000 AG.
Yeah, and I like the dungeon. I love Ozzy so much. Ozzy is just like so silly and over the top. We talked about Dalton earlier. Dalton I did not like as much as a goof villain. Cuz like there's too much like near intensity there that I was like, "Oh, is he a goof? Is he sincere?" Ozzy, I have no doubt. There's no doubts in my mind that Ozzy is the silliest, goofiest little villain that's ever been goofed about. Like his, I can never be defeated because I have traps. It's like, oh, you're a silly little guy. You're just doing all the silly little things over there.
Nope. That's completely fair. And probably a even better comedy relief villain, 100%.
I think so. The Home Place of Machine. This side quest takes place in 2300 AG. Robo and the meat suits enter the Geno Dome, a dome isolated on a small island. Upon entering, they are greeted by the Mother Brain, who is very unhappy that Robo is on the side of the Fleshlings. The Squishy Time Squad make their way through a very annoying maze of conveyor belts and robots to find a lady robot.
Yeah.
I hated this section so much. Even using a guide, it took me so long to figure out what to do. We know she is a lady robot because she is wearing a bow and she is pink. Robo and Lady Robo used to be very close friends, but she wants to kill Robo's friends now. Robo has to kill her, which she does in a one-on-one because he is that kind of robot. During her death scene, she realizes that she had been reprogrammed and is very sad. But she gives Robo her bow, which raises his magical defense and speed. Then Captain Robo and Meat Suiter Eaters destroy the Mother Brain and the factory, which was basically harvesting humans. Pretty dark premise. One of the darker ones in the game is just like they're literally putting them in a machine on a conveyor belt, and that's it. And Robo gets a new weapon at the end of it.
Meat Suiteers.
Yeah. Meat Suiteers. Thank you, Dana.
So this is like Robo's loyalty mission, right? In this game.
I mean, it basically is. It basically is. Yeah, I also tried to use the guide on this, and it was so confusing I couldn't figure it out. So I just figured it out on my own.
I watched a video to figure this one out. Like I had to go and like, okay, I have to electrify myself to get in the door.
And only certain ones seem to electrify properly. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh yeah, this one was.
I hated this one.
Not good. Not good.
The boss wasn't even that interesting because you had to kill her and leave one of the screens up and then just out damage the screen, healing it, right?
Yeah,
or you could just blow up all the screens and just pray you've got enough DPS to beat her.
Yeah,
right.
Because she does increasing AoE damage to everybody, and so there's a point where you just can't heal over it. And so I just was like, I'm gonna AoE, and then I'm just gonna triple tech several times, and I was able to get it.
It took me 2 times to figure it out, and I was like, oh, what if I don't attack the screens? And so I think I AoE down a couple of the screens and then just like damaged her over the healing or something like that. It took a little while, but it just was patience at that point.
That's what I did. I just left the screen behind her on and just out damaged the heal, the 1000 heal every turn, whatever it was. Yeah.
All right, a prehistoric stone. All game long, we've been hearing about the sunstone this and the sunstone that. Well, in 2300 AG, we stumble upon a cave with the sunstone in it. It's defended by its guardian, the Son of the Sun. So clever. This is like a fire elemental thing, and it has all these little flames all around it. You have to only damage the flames around it to damage the flame elemental, but only a specific flame can be damaged to damage the flame elemental. And then every turn or so, all the flames like spin around and they call it like flame roulette or something like that. And you have to find the correct flame all over again that damages the Son of the Sun. By this point in the game, we have armor that negates fire damage. And since the Son of the Sun only does fire damage, this really is just a test of patience and nothing else. It cannot damage us at all. So it's just trying to steal stuff from it and then trying to find the one that damages it. Once the time teams take out the Son of the Sun, they go get the Sunstone out of the chamber, but it's out of energy and they need to recharge it. It's just a Moonstone now. Okay, no biggie. They have a time machine. Head back to 65 million years ago and they drop it off, and then they fly back to 2300 AG to pick it up, but it's not there. Check 1000 AG, it's not there either. Fly to 600 AG, and it's there. So it's got to be somewhere in 1000 AG. The Time Tigers fly around 1000 AG and see something super shiny in the mayor's house in Pore. The Time Fighters check in with the mayor, and he is not having giving it away. It's his. He's not going to give it back. Okay, well, what if they... Yes?
Quick pause.
Yes.
Earlier in the game, a woman was asking for some jerky, so I was like, here's some jerky, and she asked me if she wanted money for the jerky, and I said, no, take it, and then nothing happened, and I went, okay. I guess that's pretty lame. I just gave away like 10,000 gold worth of stuff for nothing, but it's fine. But as Daniel will explain, there is something for it.
Okay, so what if they go back to 600 AG and figure out why this person is such a jerk? It's probably something he was raised with and then his generationally raised with. So, okay, sure, his ancestors are jerks. How can the family not be jerks? Well, how about the time team gives his great grandma some spicy jerky so she can make a nice dinner? We give it to her, fly back to 1000 AG, and he's super nice. He gives us the Moonstone. The Time Teens put the Moonstone back in its spot in the Sunstone Cave, fly back to 2300 AG, and the Moonstone is now a Sunstone. Luca takes the Sunstone and turns it into her ultimate weapon, the Wonder Shot. The Wonder Shot does either 1/10 damage, 1/2 damage, normal damage, 2 times damage, or 3 times damage. It is silly and fun.
It is very silly.
It's also really good because it has the same like damage of Chrono's like final weapon, the Swallow. So like if it like 2x's or 3x's, like it hits for a ton. But like you're never having Luca fire the Wonder Shot, right? Like it's just. But every now and again you're just doing like you're taking care of some mooks and you're like, oh, 3x that one.
All right. Spirit of a Proud Knight. In 1000 AG, there's a haunted castle in the Northern Ruins. The Time Team goes to the Northern Ruins to hunt a ghost. They can't damage the ghost, and it seems to no frog. Is it Cyrus? They are at an impasse because the ruins are all ruined, and they can't get to the doors. Time to head to 600 AG to see if the castle there is in better shape. It's not. But the ghost of Cyrus isn't there. They ask the carpenter at 600 AG to fix the castle, but the carpenter can't find his tools. So what the Time Teams do? They do what a normal group of kids do. They just go 400 years in the future, find a carpenter who doesn't want to work and just wants to drink, and ask that carpenter's wife for his tools. Perfectly normal. Now the carpenter, age 600 AG, has tools. He can fix the castle. Time Team makes their way through the castle, and they find the grave that reads, "Here lies Cyrus, the fool who challenged Magus." Rude. Frog takes out the Masamune, and the ghost of Cyrus appears, and thanks Frog for his hard work, and tells him he can rest, and then disappears. But not before making Masamune more powerful. Huzzah!
This is a fun one.
Pretty straightforward. It's a fun one. It's really straightforward, and it's like these are all loyalty missions. I'm just realizing this.
They are.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
The Rainbow Shell. While in Chorus in 600 AG, the Time Teens run into their pal, the world-famous adventurer Toma. He believes he has found the Rainbow Shell that he has been seeking, but he can't pass a giant monster defending it. He tells Frog that if something happens to him, pour some of his favorite booze on his grave. Traveling to 1000 AG, we find his grave. Turns out he died trying to get to the Rainbow Shell. We pour the booze on his grave, and his ghost appears and tells the team where the Rainbow Shell is located. The time trialists head to the cave Toma mentioned, and it's actually the Tyranno lair that was destroyed when Lavos fell to Earth. Apparently, it wasn't. At the end of this dungeon is the Rust Tyranno, which is similar to the Black Tyranno. After killing the giant dinosaur, they find the Rainbow Shell, but it's too big for them to carry. They ask King Guardian 600 AG to protect the shell as a family heirloom in his castle, and then head to 1000 AG to pick up the giant shell. When they get to 1000 AG, they find 1000 AG King Guardia on trial for selling off the Rainbow Shell. He says he's never heard about it. The Time Teens head into a new part of the castle that they've never been to before and find the Rainbow Shell. It turns out the Chancellor is Yakra the 13th, and he is looking for revenge. The Time Team kill Yakra the 13th, free the real Chancellor, and prove that the king isn't guilty. Melchior offers to build them some sweet armor with the Rainbow Shell.
I love this quest because the way that it presents time travel in this game. So we discussed that like once you enter a time stream, you remain in that time stream, move forward with that time stream. But also that when things are changed in the past, they are changed instantaneously at the moment that you change them for everybody else, and nobody else has any memory of that thing. So the Rainbow Shell and the extra wing on the palace that was created to house the Rainbow Shell did not exist for the people who grew up in that palace. I just love that idea so much. It's like, okay, poof. Now in all future instances of the Guardian Castle, there now exists this part of the castle that nobody knows why it existed or where it came from. It's just chef's kiss.
Yeah, things be weird.
Okay, time for the Black Omen, the granddaddy of all the side quests. The Black Omen is the Ocean Palace, but now it is infused with the power of Lavos. And because Lavos, it exists in all times from 12,000 BG through 2300 AG. Upon entering, the Time Teens are mocked by the Queen of Zeal. She tells them that she is all-powerful and there is nothing they can do. They set out to prove her wrong by using the Black Omen as a great place to get sweet, sweet loot, and the final levels they need to challenge Lavos. How lucky. After making their way through what is actually a very fun dungeon, but pretty difficult dungeon, they get to fight Queen Zeal. This is a 3-phase fight. In the first phase, the Queen of Zeal is just a person. Her big thing is that she can knock the whole team's hit points down to 1 in a single attack. So multi-target healing is very, very helpful. In the second phase, the Queen of Zeal will merge with the Mana Machine. This time, the plan is to alternate between physical and magical damage, depending on which mode the Mana Machine is in. After destroying the Mana Machine, we reach the third phase of Queen Zeal, which is Queen Zeal again. But now she is just a giant head with giant hands. A floating giant head and floating giant hands. Well manicured hands, by the way. Her left hand counters when attacked and sets a character's hit point to 1. Her right hand also counters when it is attacked and sets a character's magic points to 0. Her face does a bunch of damage. What you do is easy. You follow the advice of Mike Tyson. Everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face. Just attack the face. Then you don't have to worry about the hand's counterattacks. After Queen Zeal is defeated, you go on to fight Lavos. Time for the endings worth talking about.
Time for the endings.
There are 18 original endings in Chrono Trigger and a 19th ending that was added in the DS version, which also exists in the PC version. In the PC version. So 19 now, 18 originally.
All right. So the first ending you can get in the game is to fight Lavos and lose. Lavos breaks through the surface of the earth after absorbing all life energy. There's a guy in a room who just decides to go down with the room ship, but everybody else is dead. It says time doesn't, and then you see the world and it blows up and it says the end. And it's not a great ending. Good.
One
noob.
might say a bad ending, actually.
Yeah, it's possibly the worst ending. Yes. Good job, noob. Yeah, that's what happened. Like, the fact that it just doesn't kick you back to the save screen. It just says game over, you lose. It gives you an ending is amazing. I love it.
I love the ending. It's so good. I guess I got it by accident because I failed. And it's the whole it takes place in the domes are there, and it's Lavos is attacking, making everyone assume that everyone knows what Lavos is at this point, and they can't do anything about it, and they run off to their shelters, and then the main guy goes down with the ship. Apparently, it was very fun. I loved it. It was a great ending. Happy ending number 1. In this ending, you used the epoch to crash into Lavos, therefore bypassing phases 1 and 2 in this fight. The king summons Chrono to the palace and celebrates Chrono and Marl with all the people they've met in their travels. After the parade is over, everyone goes back to their time periods and the king presents Nadia's bell to Marl. Chrono and Marl float off into the sky hanging onto a bunch of balloons. Marl is sitting on Chrono's lap as he holds on in the balloons and they watch the fireworks in the sky. Never to see the Time Squad again, but everyone lives happily ever after. And this is kind of my favorite because it kind of shows the kids in love, in a neat way that's not the over the top you get with the anime stuff at the end. It's just a cute, fun little ending.
Mm-hmm. Happy ending 2. Same as Happy Ending 1, but you didn't crash the epoch. The Time Friends go back to their homes, but just before the time portal closes, Chrono's mom follows his cat into the vortex and she disappears. The Time Teens have to use the epoch to find Chrono's mom. This version includes individual scenes of what each member of the Time Squad is up to after the final battle. Spoilers, Robo isn't dead.
And also, like, Lady Robo isn't dead either, so that's good. Because they're like,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting.
So in this one, so like Robo and Lady Robo are sitting like on a cliff, like hanging out, and the grass is all blue, and the grass is green, and the sky is blue, and so, that's neat.
Yeah. So the happy ending, but Frog kills Magus. Same as happy ending 1 and 2, but this ending, Frog defeated Magus in a 1-on-1 battle. During the final scene, we see Frog meditating under the waterfall where he became a frog and regains his human form. In another ending, Luca mentions that he is quite attractive. Good for Frog.
Diego said in chat in this one too, human frog is kind of a green hair Vegeta, which kind of is.
Yeah.
All right, so the last ending we're going to talk about is the Chrono Isn't Revived ending. There are a bunch of iterations of all these different endings. Like I said, there are 19 endings. We're not talking about all 19. The Chrono Isn't Revived. In this ending, the Time Squad defeats Lavos before reviving Chrono. They all wake up at the end of time, but all the gates are shutting down because Lavos is destroyed. Marl wants to try and find a way to bring Chrono back, but the Time-Keteers are skeptical that this is possible and don't want to miss their chance to return home. They give Marl their condolences, go home, and their portals go out one by one. Marl and Luca return to 1000 AG, and Marl is celebrated with the Moonlight Parade. They return to the telepod, reminiscing on how it all started, where Marl was first transported to 600 AG, and the gate opens with Gasper popping out, chased by the rest of the Time Brigade. Gasper tells him that there's a chance to bring Chrono back. The next scene is Marl at the summit of Death Peak with a silhouette of Chrono running toward her. Marl sees this and runs off the cliff into the sky towards him. Kind of a fun one. So even though Chrono isn't revived, they do end up bringing him back in this ending. So it is a happy ending after all.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Munch, munch, munch.
Matt?
All right, first good. Yeah, first good. I know this is kind of like a thing of like more modern JRPGs, but like I guess they kind of started doing it. But this one maybe, but like the fact that like you finish the main story and it's like, okay, you can defeat Lavos, or you can play in this open world sandbox we built with side quests.
Yeah.
It's super cool. It's, super cool. I love it. And your ship can do anything now. It can go anywhere and space and time.
It can.
It's great. What's the not so good?
There's so many side quests. I got to the end of the game and I was like, I'm almost done. Psych, super not. And I was like, I just want to get to the end. And this felt like the end. And then it certainly was not the end.
Yeah.
I've got the best good.
Daniel, what's the best good?
The best good is there are so many side quests. Like, I got to the end and I didn't want it to end, and there were all these fun like world building moments that I got to like love and enjoy and exist in this world longer and continue to affect this world in more positive and fun ways. Like getting to save Toma's life and find the rainbow shell, getting to change, Medina village, and rescuing the Chancellor again in 1000 AG. So I really, really enjoyed the side quests. A lot of them are pretty short. Some of them are a little bit on the longer side, but I thought they were a lot of fun, even if sometimes they were a little frustrating. But yeah, I loved the side quests. I think it's a ton of fun.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
Matt, what are you liking so far?
Just finding little secrets and stories, like just buried in the world, like playing with the time travel, just being able to go back and forth at any time period and just kind of exploring a little bit. And then like the ultimate joy is just the animation of Robo and 600 AG just planting the trees. I just love every time I go back there. It's different and it's lovely and I love it so much. Storm Rage, what are you liking so far?
I think that some of the side quests have some really fun storytelling, and Matt, I'm also going to piggyback on this one. Like the Robo planting the forest one is just really cool because like the idea of if only someone could work on this forest for 400 years in a row without being interrupted, it's like, oh, I think we can do that. And Robo volunteering to do that was just also really cool. So there's just a lot of really fun storytelling moments in these side quests. I just kind of wish that we had gotten to them a little bit sooner, if I'm honest, because there's such fun story beats.
Yeah, it would be more fun if they were peppered in the game instead of just being like glommed on to the end of the game. I definitely agree with that one.
Yeah.
And that side quest, I tell you what, like, I mean, I just haven't stopped thinking about it since I played it through as a teenager. It is so good. And that, I mean, everything about it, going and finding Robo in the chapel and having him being broken down with the sun shining on him in this like place of like, you know.
Yeah. If you do 2 side quests, do this one and the Ozzy one. The other ones are like fine, but like this one and the Ozzy one are like the 2 best ones.
Yeah, those
I'd agree
are
with
a
that.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Daniel, what do you like it so far?
I love that even though I have beat the game, there is still so much to do. Like I can go and complete like the DS bonus content. I can go play through on New Game Plus, and I can start getting some of the like alternate endings. It's a ton of fun. I love that there is more game to be had if I wanted. Matt, what did you struggle with?
I still haven't beaten Lavos. Lavos is hard. It scares me. I just want to I just want to finish it, and I'm scared to go back. Also, the boss rush stinks. The boss rush part I hate so much.
So you can skip the boss rush by crashing that epoch into it, and then you can get the hats you need to negate the the time stuff by doing the Rainbow Shell quest. So
I will at some point. I just
don't have to. I'm not your mom.
I mean, I need to finish it. Stormrage, what are you struggling with?
They talk about the Sunstone for so long in this game. Like, they make such a big deal about the Sunstone being like this almighty thing, the most powerful magical item that's like ever existed. And they hint about it again and again and again. And then to like go through that entire quest to get the Sunstone, and then it turns into a weapon that I didn't use and some armor. I was like, I wish that there was more to it. And maybe I missed something, but I was really hoping that the Sunstone would like let me skip a section of the fight for Lavos or do something in that final fight, because it's so hyped up, and I just didn't. If it did something, I didn't notice what it did.
You missed the sunglasses that you also get from the Sunstone. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Yeah,
I do like the bit. It's a fun bit. It's just I wish that it was something else.
Yeah. Nope. That's perfectly fair. I have no problem with that.
Yep.
Dano, what are you struggling with?
It is criminal that this game doesn't have a good PC port or a remaster or something. Like, it 100% deserves it. The game holds up. Like, even as terrible of a port of this is, the game holds up. It's still a perfectly wonderful game. How have they not given anything to it? Just so frustrating. It's just very, very frustrating. Matt, what surprised you most about the game?
Just like I said earlier, how open the game feels after you finish the story. Like, okay, it's like you can go anywhere, you can do anything, you can just explore the maps, right? You can just like see what's different, and then like you make changes in the past, and then happens in the future. It's great. I love it. Why don't more games do this? Like, why can't we play in time periods and like come back and make changes in the future? Like zip to the future and do this. Why can't we do this? It's like, why hasn't this idea been expanded on more? Just make it happen.
Very fun.
Please. Stormrage, what surprised you?
I love Ozzy so much. I didn't expect to love Ozzy so much. I really wish Ozzy had come back somehow in the Lavos fight to be like, I've got a trap for this. I want a game that's just Ozzy and his traps and them never working correctly, because it would be so much fun. Like, make it like a Mario Party or like a WarioWare or something along those lines, but just like call it Ozzy's Trap Room, and I would be so happy.
100% should have been a DS game. Like, they made like worse DS games just like that. Like, I feel like that was sitting right there.
Dano, what surprised you about the game?
I love this game. I still really love this game. I think I love it as much now as I did when I played it back in the 90s. It's just great. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. I couldn't stop playing it. There was a week where I blew through like the majority of the game. Like I just couldn't put it down. It was just too much fun. I had an absolute blast with this game, and I'm so glad that we got to play it.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
I'm going to sell the game to a friend. There are 19 endings. 19 endings. Storm Rage?
There are rumors of 19 endings, but I haven't seen that many, so I can't possibly agree with that.
I only saw one ending where Lavos destroyed the world. It was pretty disappointing, really.
Let's get salty!
Matt, what does Mr. Moonboots have to say?
He does not recommend this game. Another new Steam title created an RPG maker. I was perplexed why this game had so many downloads, so I thought I'd try it. Would not recommend. It's simply a poor attempt at capitalizing on people's nostalgia for JRPG classics in the vein of Dragon Age. Story of Chrono Trigger is clearly a ripoff of Chrono Cross. Time travel and everything. With the soundtrack, obviously there's some fanboys' attempt at Final Fantasy OST, which fails to achieve the musical perfection that is Nobuo Uematsu created for the Final Fantasy series. Artists even rip off the DBZ style of Akira Toriyama. Not with the original concept that was executed in this game. Might be a worthwhile download if the cost reflected this game's actual value. Would recommend playing JRPGs from the golden era of JRPG gaming itself, 2009, not these modern day throwbacks.
Love everything about this review.
It's pretty great.
Hey, Matt, what did Gato have to say about this game?
You gotta hit the button to play the Gato thing.
Oh, I do have to play the... Okay, hold on. Here we go.
This is just a mobile port and still has mobile joints, but Steam will happily refund your 15 silver points.
Good job, Matt. I wasn't going to sing it.
I might have lined that up a little better in editing.
I don't think I need to line it up at all. I think it was perfect. And I have
I think
no notes.
I think you're just going to be stuck on that one, Matt.
I think that
Perfect.
is your... I think that is...
That is my cross to bear for missing the cue. There you go. Good job.
You asked for it. I played it.
I did ask
don't know
for it.
what
This
else
is
to
my
say.
fault. I'm hoisted on my own petard here. Yes.
All right, Storm Rage, can you read this last review, please?
People keep saying Guardia's Court is rigged, and the jury screws them over. Turns out there might be some merit to it. I hate conspiracy theories a lot, but the Chancellor has a patent describing how it fixes the trials to increase revenue. A rabbit hole worth exploring.
A rabbit hole worth exploring?
A pretty good review there, whoever wrote that one. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I wonder who it was.
Game reviews. Game reviews.
I will start. This game is pure joy. The soundtrack is amazing, and the story is a ton of fun. I love the characters and the locations. They are unique and enjoyable. I love the lack of random encounters. I think the boss fights are a ton of fun, but they are from the time of Prima Games and Brady Games strategy guides, where you'd be playing the game with the guide on your lap. For a lot of the boss fights, you don't really get to see the story of the boss without either playing through it a few times on your own to fully understand the mechanics, or just play with the strategy guide. The graphics don't hold up. Running Matt's pixelator helped, but it did darken the game. It also ruined the background I wanted to use for tonight's stream, so thanks, Matt. That's cool. Glad that happened. Totally wasn't going to be the scene with Luca and Robo.
You can just turn it off.
I didn't realize it was going to ruin the video until I went and looked at what happened, and it just
made
it all like wonky. Yeah, it's fine. It's my fault for
you
not
can turn it
double
off,
checking.
can't you?
I know I could turn it off. I just didn't think about it.
Okay.
This game just needs a refresh. or it will just kind of continue to exist as nostalgia bait. Storm Rage.
Chrono Trigger is a classic for a reason. It's iconic. Its art style and storyline resonate well and help shape the entire genre for generations. I think its flaws are pretty big. It's dated, and aspects of the combat or gameplay can feel very repetitive, and it is very much of the time period where difficulty equals fun. I don't think I would have ever finished this game if it wasn't for Squelch, and the game desperately needs a remake after 30 years. But with all that being said, the game is a delight. The writing is wonderful, and the characters are all distinct and very fun. It's not a perfect game, but it is an iconic game for a very good reason. Matt?
If you play one JRPG, play Final Fantasy VI. If you play two, play this. This is the one that this one really has defined the genre for decades, and still kind of does. Like, it's still in like your top list of all greatest games of all time for a reason. Fantastic story, amazing characters. I love playing this and getting back to when I initially played it back in college. I literally forgot so much had happened in the game since the years I played it. There's nostalgia? Yeah. Does it hold up? Yes. Does it have problems? Yeah, especially this port. It's a flawed game. You can beat it you can pretty much use the same three people most of the time. Like, the characters really don't matter unless you need them for story reasons. Near the end, the active time battles are almost like I still had an active time like when I was fighting it, and it gets really difficult. The menu system's dated, sorting things is impossible, and at the point in this port is awful. Like, don't buy this. Like, do not buy this port. A proper remake port of this game is much needed. I honestly suggest just emulating it at this point, because then you can have save states, you can do everything a lot better with just an SNES ROM. That's where I'm at with this game.
I think that's fair. All right, so time for our game rankings. Just a quick update on the game rankings. So we have pulled Hades 2 from our rankings. We only played it for 1 week, and the game is not in a fully released state. And because we didn't put the full 4 weeks into it or a complete playthrough, it didn't make a ton of fun to keep kind of having it be within the rankings where we're playing games for, a month or longer. So we have pulled it out, but we will 100% be revisiting Hades 2 when it fully releases. That's just going to happen. So we're going to do the same as we've been doing. 8 back to 1. Matt, what's your number 8 game, your least favorite game we've played?
Cult of the Lamb.
Storm Rage.
Cult of the Lamb.
You're both still wrong because it's Return of the Obra Dinn.
I have been arguing that we should only do our top 5 games for rankings, but admittedly, if we did that, I would miss Dano hating Obra Dinn once a month. And that brings me so much joy.
That game resonated with me in no way. It just made me feel dumb. I just felt dumb. Matt, what's number 7 on your list?
Darkest Dungeon.
Storm Rage.
Darkest Dungeon.
And you were both wrong. It is Cult of the Lamb. Matt, number 6.
Return of the Obra Dinn.
Storm Rage.
I'm going to put Chrono Trigger here. That feels too low for this game, and I may end up changing it the more that I think about it, but that's where it's going to land for me right now.
I think that is fair. My number 6 is Mass Effect 1. Matt, what is your number 5?
Okay, I've been going back and forth here 3 or 4 times while y'all have been talking. I'm going to put Chrono Trigger here. It's right there with Life is Strange. It's going back and forth. It's 4A right now, and I just can't figure out which one it is. So,
Storm Rage, number 5.
My 4, 5, and 6, in similar note, Matt, I think are all interchangeable, depending on how I'm feeling that day. But number 5 is going to be Life is Strange for me. Dano?
Yeah, this was hard for me as well. I honestly think on a different day, I would have rated this differently. And I kind of in the same boat with Storm Rage, where my number 2 through 5, I feel like, depending on the day and depending on how I had ordered it last week, could all be flexible. So today, I think this is fair. So for now, and it's so close with my number 4, but my number 5 is Chrono Trigger. It wouldn't be this low if the game had if they had just paid the person who ported it to PC. Like, no offense to the unpaid intern. Like, for being a college freshman, you did great. Like, whoever you are, like, no shade. Like, for a first project, like, the first summer of college, you did your best, and, like, you don't deserve all the shame people are throwing on you. But, like, they should have paid at least a small team of people to do this instead of just, like, saying, hey, unpaid intern, go give the mobile port of Chrono Trigger and put it on PC. So yeah, for now it's number 5, though everything about it is still amazing. So another day I could put it higher for sure. What's your number 4, Matt?
Life is Strange.
Storm Rage?
Mass Effect 1.
And mine is Mass Effect 3.
Matt has walked away from the microphone. Would you like to continue on with our rankings here, Dano?
I don't know. Is everything okay there, Matt?
Oh. Okay, he's now running back.
Right. And Matt has returned.
Putting
Headphones
on
are on.
his headphones.
Okay, welcome back, Matt.
Sorry, I had to let my dog in. Number 3? We're talking about number 3, right?
We're talking
Mass
about
Effect
number 3. You got it.
Yeah, Mass Effect 1.
Hi. What's yours number 3 there, Storm Rage?
Return of the Obra Dinn.
And my number 3 is Life is Strange. Storm Rage, or Matt, number 2.
Mass Effect 3.
Storm Rage.
Mass Effect 2.
Ooh.
And mine is Darkest Dungeon.
Surprised.
I love that game. It's so good. What's your number 1 game, Matt?
Mass Effect 2.
Storm Rage.
Mass Effect 3.
And mine is Mass Effect 2. Love Mass Effect 2. Gosh, that game was good. Holy buckets.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Oh.
It's a really good game.
I'm going through my rankings again. It's like, maybe I push Mass Effect down and put Life is Strange and Chrono Trigger. I don't know.
I don't know hard.
Anymore.
What?
It's tough.
It is super hard.
It's part of the reason I took Hades 2 out of it, because I felt like it wasn't fair to the rest of the games and to Hades 2 to be like thrown in, because like legitimately wonderful game. But like we haven't had a chance to give it like the full, like, should it be number 1 on my list? I mean, maybe it could be. I mean
it's close.
So, but like not having like put all the time into it, all that kind of stuff. But I honestly, like, I would say my number 1 through my number 5 could all be interchanged in any given day.
Yeah,
they've been so much fun.
I'm looking forward to making this more complicated with the Dragon Age games, by the way.
Oh my goodness, I've been having so much fun with Origins. Jeez Louise, what a game! Oh, I can't wait to start talking about it next week.
I'm really excited for more Dragon Age.
Yeah, well, I'm excited that you guys are excited. I was a little bit worried, not gonna lie. Like I said, next week we are starting on Dragon Age. We're playing the first our 6 hours. 6 hours, hopefully what it should be. You're playing through like the tower there in the Tower of Ishra. Is that what it's called here? I'm just going up the top.
Ishal?
It's the tower. You will know the tower when you get there.
It's the Tower of Ishmael. Oh, wait, no.
That is it for this week. We kept it under 2 hours. Good job, everybody.
Barely.
Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. A special thank you to our producers and best friends forever, Baximus and RidiculousHat. You can find links to the Discord and contact information in a pinned comment of our Patreon page over at patreon.com/squelch. I might have missed a few words in there.
Nah.
It's all right. We can just go back in time and say Chrono Trigger is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sling those time portals, baby.
This is the end of the show. Everybody bye!
Chrono Crossmas.
Chrono Crossmas, right? It's so good. So good.
That's almost better than Xmas Effect.
I mean, it kind of almost is.
Problem is, do I have that much time in December to play a JRPG?
How long? What is the how long to beat on Chrono Cross?
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
question.
looking it up right now. So let's see.
34 hours.
I mean,
it's shorter than Dragon Age, right?
No. Dragon Age Origins as 50 hours. So that,
okay.
So, okay, no, Matt, you're right.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
It's
so
a JRPG.
34 versus 40.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we just do a side thing. No, there's too many games. No, I don't have that much time to play video games.
We'll get there. It's not like we're going anywhere.
We'll play through them all.
Yep. Yeah. Right now it's Dragon Age. We're playing Dragon Age games. A lot of Dragon Age games. I'm legitimately getting excited about Veilguard just to see. I've read a few more things about it that have made me not a little bit less excited again. Combat seems like it's like moving way away from where it started, which is a real bummer, but that's kind of like a Dragon Age theme at this point. You guys will start to learn.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we're definitely gonna play it. So, but right now it's Origins, and this game is just fun. So.
I am ready.
I can't wait to talk about this first week. It's gonna be so much fun. It's such a great. It's all great. It's so great. And what'll be fun is like the kind of hearing the different like origin stories that you guys choose and like your experience playing through. So
it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time, friends.
Yeah.
Squelch is enjoying the games we're playing. That much I could guarantee.
Yep.
I do believe in Dragon Age Origins, as soon as you get through the tower here this first week, you can go to pick up Shale at any point. It is a DLC. I don't think right now we are going to plan to include the Shale DLC in our playthrough, but Shale's pretty cool. So if you want to pick up Shale, Shale's a pretty cool character. He's like an elemental, like a rock elemental. So I'm going to play through Shale this week just to kind of see how long it takes. And then I'll see if I want to add it in or not. But I kind of want to have Shale in my party, so I'm probably going to play through it. But like if you want to play it on your own, I don't know that I'm going to include it in like the main playthrough. So, but we'll see.
Nice.
All right. I think that's it. Thanks everyone for hanging out in the stream. Thanks a ton to our patrons. No After Dork this week.
Thanks pre-dork.
Everybody who listened. Hope you had a bunch of fun playing Chrono Trigger, and I hope you have a bunch of fun with Dragon Age Origins. I know we are going to. So we'll talk at you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.